Hi guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you a very special game. Like the title suggests, it's a game where I checkmated my opponent with a promotion. So in this game, my opponent is white, I have been given black, and over here, this is the probability bar, and so it shows what is the probability of black or white winning, and I have kept that for a very special reason, which you will see later in the video. So the white starts with the king's pawn opening, then I respond with e5, to which he responds directly to bishop b5. He is attacking this pawn which is already defended. So right now it is pretty unclear to what he does. So I go ahead and defend my pawn with knight c6, which he, as I had assumed before, because he was threatening this square, he played queen h5 for a good check to defend. So I played g6 to defend. To he save his queen, he responded with queen f3. Pretty standard game. I played knight f6, attacking this, adding an attacker to this pawn. He played d3, adding another defender. I played bishop d6. I do not know why. That move was a blunder, and actually, this whole game is kind of a blunder until the end. So be sure to watch. And he played bishop g5, attacking my knight. But attacking my knight, knowing that he has a queen defending that spot, so I would not retake with my queen. I had no other choice but to sacrifice my knight, so I went ahead and delayed that by playing a6, which would add an attacker to this bishop, which he would have to defend. That is exactly what happened. I played a6, to which he defended his bishop, and now I couldn't delay it anymore. Well, I could, but I could have played b5, which would have me a higher advantage, but I didn't know why I didn't think of that. So he plays bishop takes. No, I play, sorry. It was my move. I could have done that, but instead I play bishop b4 check, which he responds by playing c3, very classic. I play bishop a5 to defend my bishop, but still pinning this pawn to the king, so he cannot move his pawn. So these squares are without defense now. These two. So then he, as expected, takes on f6. Forking is forking my queen and my rook, so I would lose one in either case. So I opted to save my queen by playing knight e7. He captured my rook as expected. Then I played bishop f6, trying to block this from coming out. Little did I know I had no defense over there. So he simply took f6, and then I just played c5 for piece development. Uh, then he played knight to h3, also developing. Then I played c4, attacking this and giving him an opportunity to take my pawn, sacrificing. Then he accepts it, and then I respond with b6, which I should have done earlier. He castles, ruining my entire plan to play b7 and attack on the long diagonal onto this pawn, which would have threatened this spot and could have given some deadly checks. So I simply played bishop to b7, Mm. Then he took my pawn on e5. I responded with rook c8, threatening this whole line. And he played queen d3, defending this pawn, so basically defending the line. Uh, I played knight c6, threatening this bishop. Mm. He saves his bishop by playing g7. I play queen, rook c7, and then he plays queen d4, which is to defend this line, the 4 line as well, because that was pretty endangered. So I played d5, wishing to take this, but also what I could have done is went for the queen. But he already had an 11-point advantage, so I did not want to lose my knight, so I didn't opt to do that. He actually played a surprising move. He could have opted to trade queens over here, and he has an almost full chance of winning over here, as you can see. Um, so he opted, instead of trading queens, he opted to save his queen by playing it at d1, to which I responded by taking this pawn at e4, gaining more center control. Then he played rook to e3, developing his rook. I played d7, saving my rook from that threat. He played queen e1, threatening for a check over here with a rook. So I take his bishop at g7, which should not allow him to play his queen like that. He plays a simple b4. I play queen d7. Then he takes on a5. I retake on a5. Then he does queen d1 again, attacking my queen. But I have two defenders, the king. But I would not want to bring my king in open, so this was basically a lone defender. So then I play knight e5, attacking this pawn, with also gaining control over these squares, although the square was threatened like that, uh, but basically trying to block this move of trading queens as well, because he had a 9-point advantage still. So then he played bishop takes on d7 check, which I had no idea about. He could have taken this bishop. He also had a defender on that spot, so this was a pretty good move for him. What he could have done was given a better check by playing his queen like that, but he did not do that. Instead, went for the bishop, giving a check. I had no option but to take the bishop. He saves his queen by moving it to c1. I play a4, he plays c5, I play rook to f7, attacking this sort of. Then he plays f4, so he's inviting me to, not inviting, but he wished that he could have done that. White still has a very solid lead here with a 15-point material advantage, and he has more control over the board. This is all in all, this is looking very good for white. But I nevertheless, saving that, play g4, saving my knight. He plays knight to g5, threat forking again. But I save both the pieces by playing rook to g7. He plays queen b1. I play e3, just trying to get a good promotion, which I did achieve in about 16 more moves. So he plays queen to b5 check. I play king to d8. I could have played this, because now you see he has a five move checkmate over here, but he does not realize it. Mm. He plays queen to d3 check, then I play king to c8. Now over here, what he could have gone for is a rook to hold this long diagonal, with which he could have played his queen and got me a good check. He could have played that, but in response to this, so he actually, for no reason, played bishop to e1. I do not know why. Not bishop, sorry, rook. Then I played knight to f6. He, as expected, plays bishop to d1, taking this diagonal, control of that diagonal rather. So I play I have a king to b8 to save it from this mate. Then he checks me as expected, so I save my king with a7, plays rook to b1, and I play bishop to e4, like that. This bishop was to gain more control over promoting this pawn, because if he attacks something, my next move was, my plan was to get this over there, save with this, so if he takes, I take back. So he played rook to d1. I responded with rook to b7. He takes with the queen on f6, so he takes my knight and I could not defend it. Then I rook takes on b1. I traded rooks, one rook, the only rook I had. Now my plan is to go for a promotion in about 7 to 8 moves. Now over here he has a 3 move checkmate again, but he does not realize it. I don't know what he was doing. So I play e2, going for the promotion, and while attacking this rook over there, so he saves his rook and stops the promotion by playing rook to e1. He still has a 4 move checkmate over there, so I play d3 defending, bishop to d3 defending my promotion. He plays queen to f7 check. I play king to a8. He plays knight to a3. I simply play h6, attacking this knight. I'm sorry. He plays knight to h7, saving his knight. Then I play g5, put to attack that, attacking the pawn. He plays knight to c4. Then I take the pawn. He could not defend it. I mean, he could with his rook, but then that would give me the promotion. So then he gives me a check with knight to b6. So I had to play b8 to defend. Then he played rook to f1. So as you might have noticed, over here he had a 2 move checkmate. The game was fully in favor of black, but as soon as he played rook to f1, the tables completely turned like 180 degrees, and now I have a 1 move checkmate. uh, I I actually thought for like almost a minute for this one, and then I played the one and only move, pawn to f1, promoting to a queen and checkmate, and that was my first ever promotion win. So that has never happened to me, and I don't think it's a very rare occurrence. I don't think it will ever happen to me again. So